Okay, hello, Do for 911 here. So, as I start every single live stream, please let me know if you guys and girls can hear me okay. And if you can, then give me a thumbs up, let me know, and we'll get started. So, I can see, let's see, YouTube says that my stream resolution was bad, now it's good. And let's see, yes, that should all be working okay. So, in the chat, we've got NGX Aviation, hello and welcome. Moore, I think that's how you pronounce your name. Thank you very much for the kind comments. Yusef, welcome, and UMP Snay, he's here, the man, the myth, the legend. UMP Snay is in the chat tonight. So, hopefully everything is working okay. Attila, welcome, all good, and a thumbs up. Thank you very much for confirming that. And I'll just wait until a couple more people. Let's see, Michelle, how's it going? How have I been? I've been doing good. How about you? And Snay's giving us a wave. Good. So I'm taking it. You guys can hear me okay. Excellent. So, when I first scheduled the stream about a couple of hours ago, I think that I gave it the title, we're going to be doing something from somewhere to somewhere, and then I finally decided we're going to do a British Airways flight. So it's going to be British Airways flight 2579 from Turin in Italia to Gatwick. And so it's just going to be a quick 2 hour, block time is going to be 2 hours, flight time is going to be 1.5 hours ish. And let me just go offline here in case. Oops, no, that's not what I want. Do not disturb. That's what I want. Cool. Yeah, so flight time is going to be about. Oh, there we go. Now we've got some. We should have some audio sound there, but I'm not seeing OBS pick up the sim sound. Hang on, 2 seconds. OBS doesn't want to seem to play any sound. That could be a problem. Anyway, we'll see how we go. Anyhow. Okay, let's have a look. Let's see, Alpin Gaston, welcome. Tried to reinstall FSX, but you lost this number 2, now you're very sad. I'll just get FSX Steam Edition, nice and cheap nowadays. Skinhead and a beard, that's fashion, mate. What are you talking about? Okay, yes, this might have been a bit of an overreaction to the heat that we've been having in the UK the past few weeks. I thought people were going to comment though. I was ready to make a joke, like saying, like, now the more observant of you may have noticed something different about me. Yes, it's true. I've got a new T-shirt. But Snake just ruined it by pointing out the obvious. And Storm, welcome, how's it going? Good to see you. Timor, is this FSX? No, this is prepared P3D. No, this is the newer FSX, I guess you could call it. And EGBB, welcome. Hellblood, welcome, how's it going? Let's have a look here. TIB, I have that mean look. Nah, I'm not mean, I'm still the same old me. Although the people who don't know me though, I can get away with giving them a kind of stare and have a go at them. Yeah, basically, I was starting to, like, my hair at the very top of my head was starting to get really thin, and with longer hair, it was very obvious that I was starting to go bald. So, as one of my colleagues put it, I met the problem head on, and decided to just shave my head. So yeah. So this is the new me, the new look. Sorry, I cannot pronounce your name, the Arabic name there. Learned a lot from you. Thank you very much, and thank you for watching my videos. It always means a lot to hear from people who watch my videos, so thank you very much. Terande, I think that's how you pronounce your name. Welcome. How's it going? And Yuchin. Hey, desktop audio, that worked. You all heard my non-existent co-pilot just sneeze then, didn't you? Let's see. Michelle, upgraded from the Aerosoft to the FS Labs. Loving the aircraft. Good stuff. Yeah, I can't quite justify an upgrade to the FS Labs one yet. TRP, you need 80s hair. Trust me, when I was growing up as a kid, I had 80s hair. I looked like the Gallagher brothers. I had like just this kind of just this thing on top of my head. But anyway, right, and TIP, yes, we heard the fantastic, good. So I know the game is working, or the sim is working fine. Right, so I'm just going to start getting the aircraft pre-flighted and ready to go. We're going to be targeting takeoff 33 minutes from now. So I'm just going to start getting things up and ready. So this is the Aerosoft Airbus A320, or the A320 Professional, which is their latest kind of iteration of this aircraft, this add-on. And yeah, it's not too many differences between this and the older versions. If you want to learn how to fly this plane, if you click up in the top right corner, I've got a little playlist which talks about the Aerosoft Airbus and talks you through the sort of the procedures for how to fly it. So if you want to learn how to fly this plane, check out my little playlist, which is up there. Right, let's see, overhead panel. So battery masters 1 and 2 come on. We have external power plugged in, so I'm going to switch that on. Nav lights go on. Set the displays. Oops, keep going to the wrong view there. Displays all come on to bright. That's right there. I'll do there, and then I need to do these E-cams as well. Good, that's there as well. Tyror, will I do a video on the new Flight Sim 2020 update? They address so many concerns. I've thought about it a lot, but I think I'll wait until they start doing some more detailed. They start making some of their more detailed announcements. So for anyone who doesn't know, Microsoft released an update a few days ago. Basically talking about their kind of plan for releasing more of it wasn't me that was Sim, honest. They released an announcement the other day which was basically saying, right, this is the kind of the timeline of further announcements that we're going to make. So they've going to be making quite a few announcements over the course of this month and next month as well. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what details they start giving out about the new simulator. Snay, don't listen to them. You have to embrace the fact that no hair is the best hair at your age. Relax. No, I'm liking it. I'm digging it. I'm really digging it. It feels so nice as well. You can just like stroke my own head. It feels great. Jacob, Doof, glad to see this simming is still going strong. I don't know about going strong, but it's still going. Started FS6 back in high school. Used 172 vids as a learning resource. Still having aviation start flight school this fall. Congratulations! Real flying is awesome. And as you've probably seen from my vlogs, I'm doing real flying as well now. So, Kenny boy, welcome. How's it going? Arabic name. Sorry, I'm just gonna have to call you Arabic name. I can't read it, I'm afraid. Arabic. I'll call you number 4. That's the little bit that I can read. When exactly will the new Microsoft flight be ready? We don't know yet. We're pretty sure it's going to be 2020. We don't know exactly when it's going to be yet, I'm afraid. Norwegian Project, welcome. How's it going? Snay, no release date was given. Yep, that's correct. Farai, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Hi Doof, how's the pilot training coming along? It's doing good. I've done about 10 hours total, but because the summertime is kind of the busiest period for the company I work for and where I'm doing my training, our aircraft are pretty much fully booked for at least the next 4 weeks. So it's fantastic for us because we're nice and busy, but it just means that like our customers come first, and and I'm not getting much flying in. Oh, we got another Arabic name number 2. Hello, Do for 911. How's it going? Richie, I guess they'll release 2020. Yes, they will. Snay, €5. Dude, come on. Dude, thank you very much. I'll put that in the piggy bank for next year. I'll save it up and go to Lordos. Camilo, sorry. Next Friday, releasing a new update with info about development. Yes, they are. Arabic name number 2. My name Abu Ali. Okay. I'll try and remember that as the night goes on. Robert, welcome. How's it going? Good to see you. Right, MCDU2. Right, let's start getting fuel and loading. So, fuel that we're going to need for the flight is going to be 7.6 tons. So what we'll do is we'll start getting that in now, and we're going to have 149 passengers. Just a random number that SimBrief has plucked. We're going to start them boarding later on. The fuel we can bang in just now. We'll get the passengers going later on. Right, so let's start doing some cockpit prep. Oops, that's... I keep doing that. I keep getting the wrong camera view. Right, overhead. So IRSs all come on. Fuel pumps also all come on. Engine and APU generators, so they're showing a fault at the moment. That's good. That would be them showing off. You can see we've got a little off light there. So fault is okay because the engine's not running, therefore the generators are not running, to be expected. Packs, same deal. That's packs off. That's showing a fault again because the packs work off bleed air from the engine. The engines are not running, therefore the packs are not running. APU bleed air is off. That's correct. Anti-ice all off. Probe heat is on auto, which is good. Seatbelt sign on. Portable electronic devices sign is on. Emergency lights arm, and then we come back down to the glare shield. So flight director, we'll cycle it off, back on. Anti-skid is on. Landing gear lever is down. Radios come on. Thrust levers are idle. Make sure the joystick's working. Yes, it is. Engine masters 1 and 2 are off. Ignition switch is in normal. Speed brake is retracted. Flaps are up. Transponder is on standby. Yep. Parking brake is off, which is fine because we've still got chocks in at the moment. Right, good. Robert, where are we flying today? We are flying from Turin to London Gatwick. So it's going to be about a 1.5 hour flight, 2 hour block time. So 2 hours from brakes off to brakes on. Bushy, welcome. Watch Dogs are still having issues with the A320 prepared. Can't seem to get the speed set properly. Always overspeeding, way over 350 knots. Okay, well, feast your eyes upon this live stream and hopefully it might answer a few questions. Yeah, timer. Move the throttle back 2 notches, otherwise your throttle won't have control. Yeah, so I can actually demonstrate that now. So on the Airbus throttle system here, they've got these different detents where the throttles kind of click into place, and if you listen as I go through, you hear it kind of clicks in, clicks in, clicks in. So usually for takeoff, what you do is you increase the throttles a little bit, and then you go up to either FLX, which is the flex, which is kind of like the derated takeoff setting, or you can go full power for full power from the engines. Now usually shortly after takeoff you'll get a little announcement on the primary flight display here, which will say lever climb, LVR or LVR space CLB, and what that's asking you to do is to move the throttles back to this climb detent. So you just bring it back to that notch there. And then what that'll do is that basically you leave the throttles there for the entire flight, during climb, during cruise, during descent, even during your final approach. You leave the throttles there. It's only just as you begin the flare to touch down that you bring the throttles all the way back down to idle. And yeah, and the auto throttle will take care of everything else. So hopefully that will answer a few questions. Robert, nice, gonna fly to Orlando Heathrow soon. Ah, nice, excellent. And Jan, welcome, how's it going? Right, where are we? 17 minutes past. I better start hurrying up and getting things ready. So that's, what's the correct database that we want? 1908. Yeah. So new little fun fact for the channel. I now have up-to-date AirAct data. I got myself a Navigraph subscription, and I now have up-to-date AirAct data, so hopefully no more flight plan issues. Anyway, let's have a look. So in it, so so what we'll do is we'll align the IRS. So hopefully, as yeah, the IRS is line. Yep, that's them, literally just aligned. So perfect timing there. So we are going from Lima India Mike Foxtrot to Echo Golf Kilo Kilo. Now what I've done is I've already downloaded a flight plan for this flight, just to make life easier, a little bit quicker. So that's all in there. So flight number is going to be BA2579. Cost index. So the cost index the British Airways uses 20, and the cruising altitude I actually can't remember. It'll be 360. Let's have a look here. Alright, and then we go into flight plan page. So we're going to be taking off. Right, well, what I can show you is going to be let's see. Yeah, it's going to be this. So this is a Navigraph, and this is going to be the departure that we're going to be following. So we're going to be following the 5 Lima departure. And that's TMP procedure. So it should just be pretty much a straight out climb. Let's go into plan mode there. Okay, I have to go all the way back. Mollusk E-body. That's not quite right, but it'll do. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It's not what I was expecting, but it'll be fine. Because I think what we should be doing here is taking off, and then we're going straight to Adiso and then Kukev. But we don't seem to be doing that. Unless I maybe departure 36. Oh, it's not giving me a SID. Strange. Never mind, it'll be fine. Anyway, right, let me just get the rest of this. The arrival will sort out en route. We'll go in at 2. So the block fuel was going to be 7.6. Sorry, we'll get back to the chat in a second. Do the zero fuel weight there automatically. Then we go into performance. We'll do flaps 2 takeoff. Gives us our V speeds. Good. Right. Well, let's have a look. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name, but Yonat, I think is how you pronounce your name. Hello again, great video. Just a question, please. Prepared with Flight Sim Labs, thank you very much. I can't justify spending the money on buying the Flight Sim Labs. I'm quite happy with just flying the Aerosoft here. So, Bushy, so that will allow the CMDU to control the speed of the entire flight then? Yes, it will, yeah. So what I'll do is I'll try and remember, as I take off, I'll try and remember to call out what I'm doing, and you'll hear me move the throttles back into the climb detent, and you'll see that the throttles will automatically adjust. But I'll try and point that out later on. Let's see, Timor, what's the difference between nav aids and AIRAC? So nav aids are the actual kind of physical radio beacons on the ground which send out signals. AIRAC data is a collection of a collection of information and data about every single nav aid which is used in flight computers, and it's used by aircraft, it's used by airlines, it's used by air traffic control and things like that. So the nav aids are the actual like VOR stations. They're like the runway details, they're NDB station details, they're air traffic control frequencies, and AIRAC data is basically the collection of all of that data, which is used in computer applications such as flight management systems, air traffic control computers, and all of that stuff. Let's have a look, see what we're talking about. Taste Plays, how long is the flight? About 2 hours, yeah. Michelle, do I use Project Fly? No, I don't. Nope, I don't use Project Fly. Cool. Right, cockpit prep. So I just want to get all of this just about ready. So landing system is off. EFIS control panel, we'll go arc mode, 10 miles. VOR, ADF switches as needed. Now, another key thing, another Airbusism, I guess. So what you want to do, if you want the flight management system to control the path of the aircraft, what you can do is if you left click, now watch the control here, if you left click it, you see how the control gets pushed into the panel, and we now have this little orange dot. What that's basically telling the computers on the Airbus is I want the onboard computers to figure out the best way of getting to that altitude based on other performance other performance kind of conditions. Whereas if you right click the control, you'll see that the control gets pulled away from the panel, and what you're basically saying there is, right, I want the onboard computers to get me to that altitude as quickly as possible. And you can do the same with the other controls as well. So if you left click the heading, that's basically telling the computer, right, I want you to follow the path that's been programmed into the flight management system. Whereas if you pull the control out, you're saying, right, turn to that heading that I've set. Turn to that heading that I've set. Okay, follow the route that's in the computer. No, turn to that heading, if that makes sense. And again with the speed, at the moment, because it's got the orange dot, that's like saying, right, based on the performance characteristics that have been entered, figure out the best speed to fly at. Or pull the control back. It's not going to work now, obviously, but pull the control back and you can actually set the speed that you want the aircraft to fly at. Push the control in and let the computer automatically figure out what speed it should fly at. So that's another particular quirk of the Airbus that probably people need to be aware of. So for this flight, we're going to be letting the computers do all the work. So I'm just going to left click all of these. So we have an orange ball next to the speed, the heading and the altitude, and that means that the onboard computers will figure out all of the climb, the rate of climb, rate of descent, what way to turn, what speed to fly everything at. it's all in control of the computers with the orange balls or the orange circles there. Right, IRS alignment is aligned because we've got all of these displays showing the correct data. So we're going to be leaving in 14 minutes time, so I think now would be a good time to get the APU up and running. So we hit the APU master switch. And then we'll wait for the APU intake flap to open up, which should be any second now. We'll get a little indication there, flap open. So now we can start the APU. So hit the start button there, and we'll keep an eye on the things as they increase. Stay. There we go. Now you have to buy a Sambuca. Ah, damn. Well, I'm not buying the Sambuca right now. We've got a live stream to host and people to talk to. By the way, officer's sick. Yeah, I know. Keep sneezing and coughing, and it's really distracting actually. GJ Gaming. Hey, is the shared cockpit fixed in Aerosoft? I have no idea. I don't usually fly shared cockpit. And Russell, welcome. How's it going? Right, so now you can see APU we've got available there. So that means that we can now use APU bleed air, APU electrical power and stuff, which is what we're going to do. So we go up to the center here, APU bleed. So we switch that on, you'll hear all of the fans will start ramping up, all of the air conditioning in the plane starts ramping up. And now that the aircon is working, it's going to start bringing the temperature of the plane down to what we want. And as it does that, I'm going to get a message on my phone. Cool. So the aircon is working, and what we'll do now is we'll start getting the passengers loaded on now. It'll be nice and cool for them. Temperature will be just right. Passengers will be happy. All the rest of it. TIP, the peanut should be arriving soon. Yes. Yeah. Keep an eye out for the elusive people. The elusive peanut, rather. Bushy, Aerosoft EFB. Nope, not using that. Neotronic, welcome. How's it going? Good to see you there. Right, so now that the APU is also running, that's starting to give us some hydraulic pressure as well. So what we'll do is we'll get the parking brake switched on. We'll make sure the thrust levers are definitely idle. We'll set the barometric reference, and you know what this means. We got to speak to our crazy active sky lady. So we'll dial in 1220.
Lima, India, Mike, Foxtrot, airport information, Gulf 2050, Zulu, weather, wind, calm, visibility 10,000, sky clear, temperature 23, dew point 17, QNH 1012, advise on initial contact, you have information, Gulf.
Well, that was nice and easy. No clouds to worry about, no wind to worry about. And QNH was 1012. That's it. Done. That's all we need to do there. So barometric reference is set. Seatbelt signs, double check those, make sure those are on, which they are. And now we don't need the external power because we got the APU. Hit that, and away we go. Let's see, timer, sticking with Aerosoft because it's so frame rate friendly. Yeah, yeah, my computer's a few years old now, so Yeah, I need to think about frame rates more than anything else. Kiwi Boy, welcome from New Zealand. Wow, it must be... I'll be in the middle of the morning there, I guess. How's it going? Have I had some people from New Zealand watching before? I don't know if I have. Certainly no one talking in the chat, at least from New Zealand. So welcome, it's good to see you there. Let's have a look here. So yeah, so we're getting passengers on board now. So we got, oh, don't actually, you probably can't see that there. So we've asked for, well, basically we've set the plane to accept 149 passengers, just a random number that SimBrief, my flight planning software, well, not mine, but the flight planning software I use, gave me. You can see here the plane can take a maximum of 180 passengers, and the actual number that we've got right now is 66. And you can see the boarding is flashing, numbers increasing. So all we have to do now is wait for this to hit 149. Let's see, 9:32 in New Z. Excellent. Vanessa, hello from Bulgaria. Hello from Scotland, Vanessa. How's it going? Good to see ya. Yeah, how many people have we got in the stream? So it sounds going to go. Peak can cover 51 people. Currently got 42. Damn. This is a busy stream for me. I need to pick it up. Bushy Balls, hello from Ayrshire. Ah, Ayrshire. I know the area well. Family, we live in Ayrshire. Oh, what's it? There's a thinking of Ayrshire. There's an amazing restaurant called Air India, spelled AYR India, and it's sits right on the edge of the beach in Ayr. And when you look out, you've got the there's an island a few miles off the coast of Scotland called Arran, Arran, and yeah, you can sit in this restaurant, Indian restaurant, and look out onto this island, and it's incredible because it faces west. So at night you've got the sunset, you've got the island, the sea, the sand. It just looks fabulous. It's just so gorgeous. I don't know why I said that like that. Anyway, yeah. So and there's a, it's an Indian restaurant. You know how much us British people love Indian restaurants. Which aircraft, Prince? Which aircraft is this? This is the Aerosoft Airbus A320. Timor, hello from Pakistan. Hello from Scotland, Timor. Nitch, I think that's how you pronounce the name. Learn to fly the Aerosoft Airbus for me tutorials. Thank you for the support work. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much for watching. I'm glad my videos could help you out there. Right, so yeah, we're just waiting on passengers now, basically. So 112, 113, so we've still got a few to go. Departure time is 5 minutes from now, so we should have everyone on board and ready to rock in 5 minutes time. So yeah, just going to kick back, relax for a minute until that's all done. Oh, this is a good night. This is a good night already. I've got both my mods in. It's like having the whole family together again. Oh, I'm so happy. I got Snee, I've got TIP, I got Storm in the chat. Oh, it's the whole family all together. Oh gosh. Top tip for us UK and British people who can't handle the heat: get a 2 litre bottle, fill it with water, Or fill it about 80% with water, bang it in the freezer, and you've got yourself 2 litres of water, freezing cold water to drink the following day. Brilliant. Let's see, Chris, hello from Liverpool, next door to the airport. Ah, fantastic. Good stuff, proper little plane spotter there. Snake heat. Yeah, man. Anything over 15 degrees for Scottish people is really hot. Athar, welcome, how's it going? And Zoltan, hello from Hungary, how's it going? Welcome. Yeah, mate, why do you think I cut my hair? It's because we hit 18 degrees. It's just too much to handle. This is a... Then we had thunderstorms, which was actually quite fun. And TIP, welcome to stream, yeah. Good stuff. Oh, printer's going. That must mean that all of our passengers are on board. I don't know what to do with this printer. Any time I've clicked on the printout here, it usually crashes the sim, so I'm not going to do that tonight. But that usually signals that we've got all of our passengers on board, which we do, which is good. So what we're going to do is start closing up the doors. Everything else is closed there. We'll start removing the ground services as well. Just in readiness for pushback.
Captain, the cabin is secure. All passengers are aboard.
Thank you. And what we will do is we will try and use the built-in pushback. Now the challenge is that the taxiway is about a mile away. So I don't know how we're going to do this. Let's see. How long is an Airbus A320? Let's see. God, shame you're going to sleep now. Wish you a happy stream. Oh, thank you, my lord. Thank you. Snake, you were on a beach swimming on a thunderstorm. Yeah, and that was one of the best things ever. I thank God there wasn't a lightning strike on the beach as well. No, that was incredible. I'd highly recommend that. If you're ever somewhere tropical and there's a thunderstorm and you're on the beach, go for a swim. It's incredible. Zoltan, how do you print that paper? I don't know. The aircraft just did it itself. Let's see, Russell, I'm out of flying school tomorrow, you're in at 8:30. I might just catch you when you leave. I'm starting at 11:30 tomorrow, so I might 8:30, 9:30, 10:30. If you stick around after your lesson, I might catch you. Let's see, Olivier, which Aerosoft A320 version is it? This is the professional one. Right, that is 22:40 local time, so we are going to get ready to push back. Although I can't figure out how far to push back, so we're just going to go for about a good 20 meters. Nose to the right, 90 degrees. And we'll just see where we end up, shall we?
Flight deck to ground.
Go ahead, sir.
Ground, we have ATC clearance for push and start. Please confirm ground equipment and services are clear.
Beacon light on.
Roger.
So
ground equipment and stairs are clear, all doors are closed. Steering pin is in position and we're ready when you are, Captain.
Start pushback.
Roger, sir. Please release your parking brakes.
So we'll just do as we're told. Release the parking brake.
Parking brakes released.
Start and pushback, you can start.
So we don't have any like luggage cart or anything, but you can see we're going to start pushing back. No idea where we're going to end up, as I said, but we'll be alright. Let's see, Prince, which airport do I fly? I'm flying from Turin to Gatwick today. Max, why don't I buy any scenery? I can't really justify. Why are you turning the nose that way? Oh, I got that all completely wrong, didn't I? That's alright, we'll do a U-turn on the taxiway, it's fine. It'll be fine. Yeah, I can't justify spending a whole bunch of money on various airport sceneries when I'm only gonna I'm rarely gonna fly to those airports. So I don't wanna. I don't want to feel like I feel like I'd waste my money if I went and started buying airport scenery. So that's why I'm not buying much scenery. Although that said, the Gatwick that I have is the demo version of UK 2000's Gatwick. So I do have scenery at Gatwick, albeit a demo version. Zoltan, yours is not printing anything. Is it the new professional version for prepared that you have? Let's see, Vanessa, I want to become a pilot when you're old enough, and my tutorials taught you a lot about the A310. Oh, well, thank you first of all for watching, and yeah, I wish you all the best. If you want to become a pilot, you can definitely become a pilot. Right, so we're just about to finish the pushback, so we'll start getting everything up and running. So engine mode selected to ignition, and we'll start
starting engine 2.
I don't know where my first officer is, but she did not sound like that when she was coughing and sneezing. She sounded very much like a man. Now the ground crew guy should be telling me to set my parking brake, so I'm just going to do it anyway. And I've had a glitch in this aircraft, so once I get the second engine running, you'll hear like a lot of audios will probably overlap, and there'll be the ground crew and the captain basically talking over each other.
Engine 2 is stabilized.
Yeah,
starting number 1.
So you can keep an eye on the engine parameters there. Snay, the A310 is a length of 3757. Yeah, we're way short of the taxiway, which is out here somewhere, which is fine because I need to like go forward and do a right-hand U-turn to get to where I need to be. So that'd be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Let's see. Max, download the freeware LGZA scenery. Why? I don't fly to LGZA and I'm not flying there anytime soon. Creative Games, love from Germany, love to Germany. Welcome to the stream, Creative. How are you doing? Oh, sorry, should I say welcome in. Pilot Marlon, welcome. How's it going?
Engine 1 is stabilized.
And pushback is complete, Captain.
Parking
Please
brakes
set your
are set.
parking brakes.
Ta-da!
Okay then, Captain. Tow bar disconnected. Your nose steering pin is removed. All clear. Signal on the right. Have a good run, sir.
And Zoltan. Okay, so that might be why your aircraft's not printing. If you've got an older version of the aircraft, they might not have the print function in it. And Bitula, I think that's how you do that. And welcome to the stream. As TIP there says, it's called P3D, which is short for Prepared 3D. Right, so off to start checks. So engine mode selector comes back to normal. APU bleed air comes off. The APU master switch, so we can just hit the master switch, turn the APU off. We don't need it because the engines are there running, powering everything, hydraulics, electronics, and all the good stuff. Engine, wing and anti-ice not needed. Speed brake, we can arm. Flaps set for takeoff, so we'll go flaps position 2 for takeoff. Pitch trim, so in the aircraft it's typically whatever is given here. By default in the Aerosoft it's usually 0.8 degrees up, and you can double check where it is on the flight control here. So if you select the flight control page here, You can see the pitch trim there, so we're just going to wheel that back to 0.8. And we'll need this page up as well because we're just about to do the flight controls check. So we'll move the ailerons to the left. Oops, ailerons to the left. Ailerons to the right. We'll go elevator up, elevator down, and then rudder left, rudder right. And just throw the controls into all 4 corners. Make sure everything is working fine there, which it is. And then we'll check the doors, all the slides are armed. And then when there's no page selected, it just defaults to whatever is the most appropriate page for the that phase of flight. Okay. Let's have a look here. His name was Roman COP. I have no idea. The guy's got issues and he needs tissues. Anyway, Daniel, welcome. How's it going? And Sim Captain Mike, welcome. How have I been? I've been hot. That's how I've been. Yeah, it's been pretty temperate in Scotland. More temperate than I'm used to. Right, so we will imagine that we've got taxi clearance. So we'll set the nose wheel to taxi. Release the parking brake. Increase the throttle just a tad, and away we go. Dude, seriously, stop. We all have to put up with this guy sneezing. So what we'll do is we'll go and find the taxiway. It's over here somewhere. See, the guy's sneezing, and it's like it's making my nose itch now, and now I feel like I have to sneeze. In fact, I think I'm gonna sneeze. Right, so taxi checks. So auto brake, set to max. We'll double check the autopilot here. Make sure the speed, heading, and altitude have all been pressed in, and we've got an orange dot next to all 3 values there. Takeoff config, so that's this little button here. We press that, we've got all of the green there on the display, so that's all good. Weather radar we will turn on after we make this turn. And what we'll do is we'll taxi all the way down to the end of the runway. So we'll make use of the displaced threshold here at Turin. Just gives us a couple more 100 meters to work with for the takeoff rule. Just an extra bit of safety margin, really. So we'll get the throttle going a bit. Right, so weather radar comes on there. Flight director, just double check it, make sure it's on. And the transponder, well, we'll set it once we get to the runway. Let's see, Aeb, welcome, how's it going? Stay 32, it's midnight and it's 32 degrees in Greece, wow. Let's see, Zoltan, I don't use ATC. No, I don't. I tend to find that ATC just kind of gets in the way while I'm trying to explain things and demonstrate things, so no, I don't use any air traffic control. Right, before takeoff, so the wheels are less than 150 degrees Celsius, which they all are currently. Well, down at a nice ambient temperature, which is good. Brake fan is off. I can't even remember how you turn on brake fan. I think it's that button there. Engine mode selector is normal, and this will be transponder, which we'll sort out just before we enter the runway. Let's see. Yeah, up in Scotland we've had mid to high 20s. So yeah, we've been up about sort of 25, 26, 27 degrees. And then like the following day we'll be back down to 18, 19. And we've had thunderstorms and rain showers and stuff, so it's been a bit all over the place in Scotland. The past couple of weeks we've literally had like 2 days of thunderstorms and then 2 days of brilliant sunshine followed by another 2 days of thunderstorms. It's just, it keeps on coming and going, it's ridiculous. So we'll just tap the brakes here, we'll just hold short of the runway. So hit the parking brake there. So transponder we'll set to TARA. We'll just go for let's go for 2000. I think that's just the general. Actually, no. What we're doing? Why don't I just use my usual 320? There we go. Go for aircraft type for the transponder code there. So transponder is on, weather radar is on, anti-skid is on. We'll imagine that we've just been giving clearance for takeoff, so the strobe lights on, and we'll hit the rest of the lights once we line up. Olivier, what percentage M1 for taxiing? Just a couple of percent above idle. Taxi speed in this aircraft, you don't really want to be going above 20 knots ground speed, which you can read here. So this is 5 knots just now. You don't really want to be going above 20 along a straight piece of taxiway. 10 knots or less for turns, and yeah, then I wouldn't say any greater than 20 knots in a straight line. So we'll get it lined up here. So what we'll do is we'll throw on all the lights now. So everything up to takeoff. I have no idea what that sound is, so don't ask. So let's get rolling, shall we? So what we'll do is we'll move the throttles up a little bit, make sure everything is balanced, everything's accelerating, hit the stopwatch, and we'll go up to the... So you heard there was 2 notches there, so I'm currently in the sort of the flex position of the throttles, which means this is the D-rated takeoff, meaning that the engines are not running at 100%, they're running at maybe 95 to 90%, because we don't need all of the engine power for takeoff. So it just reduces fuel consumption, reduces wear and tear on the engine, and just increases the lifespan of the engine really. So we're just keeping the aircraft nice and straight. That's us hitting V1. That's us hitting rotate, so we'll pull back. Nice and gently, just let the nose come up. And away we go. So just hold the nose steady. Bring up the landing gear. And what I'm doing is I'm just keeping the nose on the horizontal line on the flight director here. Then what I'll do is I'll enable the autopilot. So the autopilot's going to take care of it. It just allows me to concentrate on other things around the flight deck here. So predictive weather probably should be switched there. Don't worry about that, nothing serious. So spoilers disarmed. Flaps we will increase as we accelerate. Let's see. Vanessa has to go to bed. No worries, Vanessa. We'll see you soon, hopefully. Okay, so you see now we've got this little flashing lever climb here. So what I'm going to do is move the throttles back 1 notch. They click into position there. Now you hear that the throttles kind of came back a little bit. So now I'm not going to touch the throttles for the rest of the entire flight. The only time I'm going to touch the throttles is I'm going to bring them back to idle just before landing. That's it. So now that we're accelerating, move the flaps up before we hit the overspeed there. So now flaps position 1, speed is increasing, flaps up all the way. Autopilot is on, lights will switch off as we get a bit higher up. Packs are on, so the packs, we don't have any fault lights up there. We can double check because the cabin is pressurizing, cabin altitude is there, and the delta pressure is changing as well there. Engine mode selector normal, and barometric reference will set standard once we get a bit higher. Actually, so I'll turn on the terrain radar. So we've got a nice bit of mountainous terrain here. So just show that off a little bit. So you can see the QNH is now flashing. That means we're going above the transition altitude. So we'll just right click on this control here. This is standard barometric pressure. Basically, any aircraft above the transition altitude, they all need to work off the same pressure setting. So that's all that is. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll start switching off all of the lights. We'll leave the nav lights on, we need them, beacon lights, we need them, strobe lights, we need them. But all of the landing lights and nose wheel lights will turn off. And yeah, that's about it for now. Okay, so Daniel, what does the 0320 mean? So what I set 0320 on, that's called the transponder, so that basically identifies my aircraft to air traffic control. Now, because I'm not flying online, I'm not flying with air traffic control, usually just as a little Easter egg, I usually set the aircraft type as the transponder code. So if I'm flying an Airbus A320, I'll type in 0320. If I'm flying a Boeing 737, I'll type in 0737. It's just a little Easter egg, just for the stream there. Let's see, Olivier, what's my CB rate? What do you mean by CB rate? If you mean cabin pressure, we're plus 600 feet per minute. Raiku, welcome, how's it going? Cool, so that's already up at 13,000 feet, and we're just climbing away. So this will be the top of the Alps, won't it? If we're just leaving Turin. Well, that's it, I wouldn't want to be this close to the Alps. I'd rather have climbed in a different direction and then gone over the Alps. I would not want to be climbing, because what I'm thinking now, I've got a bit of real world experience. My thoughts as a real world trainee pilot now is, what if what if I had a dual engine failure now? How am I going to get out of this? So I think it would just have to be drop the nose, do a U-turn, and hope that you can get back out away from the mountains from the direction you just came in. I wouldn't want to continue trying to fly forward if my engines were to fail at this point. Olivier, climb rate. Climb rate is plus about 2,800 to 3,000 feet per minute at the moment. Right, so now that we're above about 17,000 feet, we'll set the seatbelt signs to auto, so that will switch them off. So people can start moving them out and doing what they need to do. No idea what that is. Again, don't ask me. It's not a cabin pressure thing. I've no idea. And what we'll do now is, now that we're starting to get up into the climb, we can turn up the terrain radar because I think we're getting up to a safe altitude away from the mountains. And we'll increase the range so we can see what's going on ahead, flight plan wise. Let's see, it's now better than FSX. Sound also visual is significantly better. Ah, good. Yeah, the performance is better than FSX as well, I would say. Yeah, the default visuals are a bit better. I am currently using Orbx Global Base, Orbx Global Vector, and Open LC Europe. So I'm using Orbx scenery to enhance the default scenery, or which enhances the scenery within the sim. So this is not kind of default scenery. This is all Orbx stuff. And yeah, but it does look good. So I've got all of this add-on scenery, and my frame rates are still hovering just between 30 and 40 on average. So yeah, so the performance of BA2579 is a lot better. I like the sim a lot. Yeah. So it will do until Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 comes along, and Microsoft give me an early access copy of it. And Microsoft, because I'm such a good flight simmer, they also give me a supercomputer to play it on. Right, Microsoft? Call me. Thank you. Love you. Airbus A320 sounds like the cockpit door chime. Does it? Go away. Russell, find it so strange the Airbus throttle system. Worry about yourself, the Zebra Mod is excellent. Yes, the Zebra Mod is excellent. Yeah, the Airbus is a bit more quirky because it's all yeah, run off computers. So it's a bit strange, but like with the yeah, with the MCP panel, it's not the MCP, but the autopilot panel in the Airbus. What do Airbus call it? They call it the MCP. Yes, they do. Yeah, MCP, mode control panel. Yeah, I don't know what I'm saying. But yeah, it's quite quirky, the Airbus. Well, what's it? There's an old adage, the old common joke between Airbus pilots when they're flying is the common question that Airbus pilots ask when they're flying is, what's the plane doing now? Because they don't fully understand the autopilot function of it. Excuse me. Airbus A320. What about the upcoming new Microsoft Flight Simulator? I'm interested. I like what I've seen so far. I guess we'll just have to wait and see what Microsoft announce and their further development announcements, more of which are coming this month. Time War, how many FPS average do you think you get over FSX because you consider the switch? I think I've got a good maybe 20 FPS more than I do in FSX. And I would say that the add-on scenery, I noticed it in prepared because I downloaded the demo of the Orbx scenery in FSX, and it had an effect. And I then tried it in prepared, and the kind of the performance hit wasn't as great. So I think P3D makes better use of performance and hardware. Thank you, Steve, for the little message. let's have a look here. Daniel, I like the automation of the A320. I like the experience. Boeing 77, don't know what I like most. What's my opinion? I'm kind of a similar opinion. The A320, I'd say, is easier to fly because of all its automation. But the 737 is more of it feels more like a plane that you can fly. It feels more like a pilot's plane, so not sure. Snape, give us your opinion to Boeing's fiasco on the 737 and 777. What has Boeing been doing with the 777? Obviously, I know all the stuff about the 737 MAX, but what's been happening with the 777? Timor, I have i5 8600 GTX 1060 F6 drums Orbix and Airbus. Oh really? Well, what I would say is FS6 is still a 32-bit program. As yes, Sneeze just jumped in there as well. Yeah, so, yeah, FS6 is still a 32 bits piece of software, so it can't really take as much advantage, or it can't use as much modern hardware as P3D can, which is kind of natively built as 64-bit. Yeah, you're kind of restricted with FS6. Its performance can be quite restrictive because it just can't use everything that's on offer. Especially if you've got scenery add-ons such as Orbix, like wide area Orbix stuff, and add-on airports. Your what am I trying to say? Yeah, your RAM memory is just going to fill up, and it's just going to crash because you're gonna end up just kind of completely blocking up your RAM memory with too many add-ons in FSX. Snake, 777 has more issues than 73, but the corpse choking out. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know they had issues with 777 as well. Yeah, the 737. Gosh, it's a weird one. The 737. I mean, because the first accident that they had, obviously caught a lot of people off guard, but the problem was identified fairly soon after the crash, and you would have thought that anyone who was flying the 737 MAX would be incredibly sensitive to that sort of symptom of the aircraft automatically pushing the nose down, and would have immediately taken action to resolve it, which is to completely disable the autopilot, or the trim function of the autopilot. So it's tragic that the second accident occurred, but I don't want to put blame on the pilots, but surely after the first accident, surely any 737 MAX pilot would have been sort of hypersensitive to why is the aircraft pushing the nose down? Hang on, this sounds a lot like what caused that other crash. right, let's disable everything. We'll go and land, because I don't want to fly a plane that doesn't do what I tell it to do. Yeah, it's a strange one. Let's see, time we're waiting for Microsoft Flight Sim for taking plunge. It turns out to be a new big thing. All the money spent on P3D movie waste. Yeah, yeah, I would hold out, because the thing is, there might be a new version of P3D released next year as well. There might be a P3D V5 or version 5 might get released as some point in the next year or two. So yeah, definitely hold out for that. Let's see, Russell, if you guys want to know about FPS, KX Midland, you need mega power to run it. Yes, you do. TIP experience in 2 days in your hard drive. Slay, no harm by the pilots, they're pure professionals. Yeah. Well, what was it I read on the short aftermath? I think, yeah, what it was Boeing had some sort of like special dispensation from the FAA, meaning that they could certify, it was something like they could certify some of their own work without the FAA sending in auditors to oversee everything. But Boeing had, so basically Boeing could develop new systems such as the, what they call it, MCAS. And it wasn't overseen or approved by the FAA, or there was some feature on the 737 MAX that, or they could basically develop things without getting FAA approval. They could develop it and certify it themselves, and I think that was highlighted as being a bit silly in the aftermath of the two accidents there. Anywho, let me catch up on comments here. Excuse me. Daniel, probably there are cases where the MAX turned the nose down, pilots could handle the situation, the accident was probably the exception. Potentially. Anton Dom, am I on IVEO? No, I'm not. No, I'm not flying on any ATC network. Olivier, what would be the improvement with Flight Sim 2020? Short answer is we don't know yet. There hasn't been enough details released about the new Microsoft Flight Sim. Basically, all that people have to work on is basically the announcement trailer, which a lot of people are skeptical won't be representative of the final product, but it's certainly got a lot of people hyped for the new sim developed by a company which has got some significant resources to throw at the sim. So yeah, at the moment it's just pure hype about Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see and delve into some of the announcements that Microsoft make over the next couple of months and see what sort of features we can expect. Time War, do you like flying at night? Yeah, I don't have a preference really. I'll fly daytime, nighttime, either or. Paolo, welcome. How's it going? Let's see. TIP prefers flying in the worst conditions possible. Snay, Borg run the entire FAA at the moment. They can basically develop anything without being approved by anyone. Ah, okay. Yeah, that's what I thought it was just for. I don't know. I didn't realise they were doing it left, right, and centre. It was rife. Snay, stop donating. You need to keep your money. Save your money, damn it. Thank you very much. Yeah, as I said earlier, all of this is just going to go straight back into a Taverna fund. The S&D Taverna fund. Snay and Doof Taverna. Or Dolce Cafe fund. One of the two. Yeah, the Taverna and Dolce Cafe joint mutual fund. There we go. Thank you very much, buddy. You need to keep your money though, damn it. Sorry, I'm being very antisocial right now. Send that away. Let's see. Let's see. TNT animates. What simulator I'm using? I'm using Prepare 3D, or commonly known as P3D. Let's see. Captain Aviator. Am I not going to go to flight school? Don't I want to work commercially as a pilot? I am going to flight school, and I may work commercially as a pilot, or I may continue working in flight operations. Not sure yet. I have two paths available to me. Fadi, so I'm not sure how to pronounce that correctly. I have a question regarding the top of descent. Does the Airbus automatically start at descent, or should I dial a lower altitude and press the knob in? Well, two things. If you dial down the altitude, that basically gives the flight management system permission to descend to that altitude. Now, what to do is if you dial a lower altitude and then press the control in, what that should do is that will start a descent at a constant minus 1,000 feet per minute until you sort of intercept your steeper glide path. So if you're cruising along and you set a lower altitude, when the plane hits the top of the descent, it will start descending and go down. If you set a lower altitude and press the control in, it will start descending at a relatively shallow angle until it intercepts that kind of steeper descent path, and then it will start descending correctly. And if you don't change the altitude control at all, you'll blow straight over the top of the descent and then continue flying at your cruising altitude. So either set the lower altitude before the top of the descent and let it do it automatically, or if you push the control in, it just kind of smooths out that transition between cruising to a slight descent to a steeper descent. Mir, welcome, how's it going? And Abner, welcome. How are you doing? Speaking of top of the descent, we've got it visible on the range already. We're about 200 miles away from top of the descent, I would say. Mir, why did I ditch FSX? I just, I don't know, I just felt like it was time. I kind of felt like all of the major developers were starting to drop FSX, starting to drop support and focus more on P3D. So I kind of held out for a while, and then I ended up getting P3D V4 shortly after it was released. So it was around the time that P3D V4 was released. That's when I picked it up, and been using it since. But I still have FSX installed. There's still a couple of planes that I have for that, which I don't have for this. For example, the old developers Real Air. I've still got one of their aircraft, the Real Air Lancer Legacy. Fantastic little GA plane. And unfortunately, the Real Air developers closed down their business, which is a real shame because they made fantastic GA planes. So I've still got that for FSX. I'll have to play it again, or fly that plane rather at some point. Right. While we're in the cruise, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start planning for the approach into Gatwick. Now, what I'm going to do is just look up on my phone, look up the METAR for Gatwick. So I'm just basically getting a weather report for Gatwick on my phone here. So this is saying wind 070, 6 knots, carbon K, 16 degrees, dew point is 14, QNH 1019. Good. So we'll get another one a bit closer to the time, but it just gives us a rough idea of what to expect at Gatwick. Mir, is it hard to get used to P3D? Kind of thinking about transitioning from F6 to P3D2. Not at all. No, when you get P3D, you'll see that there's a lot of similarities to FSX. Paolo, wow. Thanks for the great to us. Wow, thank you very much, Paolo. That's incredible. That means a lot to me. Thank you so much. What's our dollars though? I'm not sure what our dollars is. But thank you very much, Paolo. That's incredible. I really appreciate that. Let's see, Olivier, how old is FSX? You're probably looking at 12 years now. Yeah, that was the last simulator developed by Microsoft, and now they've announced their Microsoft Flight Sim simulator, which they're going to release in 2020, so we shall see what that brings. Oh gosh, excuse me. Getting sleepy. Getting sleepy already. I'm turning into an old man. It's starting to look like one as well. Hey. I should probably get back in frame, shouldn't I? Get my feet up, chill out, relax, enjoy my ice cube, my iceberg. Let's see, Snay, I think it's Brazilian dollars. Ooh la la, Brazilian. Very nice. I do get the odd South American watching these later night streams. Well, for me, late night stream. Oh my, Storm. You look gorgeous, Tifa. Oh, stop it. You're making me blush. Oh my. Storm. I'm sure you're looking gorgeous tonight as well, Storm. Mr. Packin, Captain, can we stop by shop and get a pizza? I'll give Domino's a call. They can deliver. We'll bang it on like the back of an F-16 or something. They can deliver. Saying that, I literally had the Domino's tonight. I was stuffing my face with pizza about half an hour before the live stream. Look, I finished work at 8 PM, 8:20 actually, and I didn't have time to cook myself any proper dinner, so I just got a pizza then, because I knew that I was going to be streaming tonight as well. Let's see, Russell, what's the story on Echo Tango, Bravo Tango? Engine issue at the moment. I don't want to talk about the details here. But you'll find out tomorrow. But it's an engine related issue, so the aircraft is not going to be offline for a few weeks. Let's see. Cool. Let's have a look here. Let's see. Timor, I hope they port F6 missions to the new flight sim. Really enjoyed those, are fun. You never know, they might have a little nod back to the older sim. Right, then we've got top of descent there showing up. So we need to start thinking about getting the approach together at some point soon. And Storm and the mods are all talking amongst themselves. Olivier, which waypoint am I tracking? I'm currently on my way to Tango Romeo Oscar, 19 miles southeast. Marius, F6, no, this is B3D. God, the iceberg's starting to melt a bit quicker. Whoa, okay, well, hold up, what's going on here? What's happening here? Sorry guys, give me 2 seconds here. Okay. Mathis, welcome, how's it going? And Fidi, what do you think about X-Plane 11 versus P3D? They're both incredibly good sims. They do things differently, but they're both very good sims, I would say. I can't recommend one over the other. They're both good sims. Let's see, Olivier, welcome, how's it going? Yeah, TAP left, it does appear that way. Marius, have to sleep, good luck on the line. No worries, Marius, thank you very much. And Russell, Fiverr, thank you very much, Russell, appreciate that. You do realise that will just, that will go straight on to probably buying some biscuits for the school. Let's see, Timor, Dufer, had your 747 installed. Rex updated the weather. Pardon me, excuse me. That was rather exciting. Rex updated the weather, wind suddenly shifted, knocked about 40 knots off your speed, plus a couple hundred feet. Is this issue still in P3D? I don't use Rex, so I can't say for certain, I'm afraid. Mathis, hey dude, what's your ETA? ETA is going to be 14:52, so 40 minutes. 40 minutes. Thank you very much, Russell, I appreciate that. Sorry, I was just catching up on some chat comments there. And actually, while I do... right, let's just do a thing here. Let's just do a thing here. Sorry guys, I need to just have a look through the chat here. Right, okay, oops. Don't mind me, I'm just doing some things. Doing the thing. Sorry, we'll get game sound back in a minute. I've got my business mind on at the moment. Catcher through 3. let's see, Ryan M, welcome, how's it going? Welcome to the live stream. Right, so we've got top of descent coming up. So what we're going to be doing is, let's have a look. So I've got Navigraph here, very handy little tool. And what I will do, so we're going to be following the Timber 4B arrival. So we should be ending up at this Kunav waypoint soon. Yeah, we've got Kunav up there, which is good. And let me just bring this back here. So we're going to be flying Kunav to Admut to Timber up in here. And then what we're going to be doing from Timber is we're going to be landing on runway 08 right. So we're basically going to fly around the south of Gatwick, do a right hand U-turn to line up with the runway and land. So we've got the Timber waypoint here. So we're going to hit the Mayfield VO bar here. And then basically fly along this line here, do a U-turn, where we're going to line up with the localizer for runway 08 right. So we've got 08 right there. So we're going to be descending down to an altitude of 3,000 feet, where we're going to be intercepting the glide slope, and we're going to be making our approach. And then for parking, we're probably going to park somewhere along Pier 2 here. This is where BA typically park up at Gatwick. So we'll land on runway 08 right. We'll probably end up leaving the runway either on Charlie Romeo here or Bravo Romeo. If I make a good landing, it'll be Charlie Romeo, and then we'll probably just taxi up Juliet, follow that all the way into one of the stands up here. So what I will do shortly is I'll just answer a couple more questions, get an up-to-date METAR, and then enter all of that weather information into the FMS, and then we'll start making our descent, I guess. Right, let's have a look here. Olivier, is this an add-on aircraft? Yes, this is the Aerosoft Airbus A320. Olivier, and also do I have a video explaining these approach documents? Yes, if you click up in the top right corner there, I've got several playlists which talk about learning how to fly several different add-on aircraft. What you want to do is take a look at the FSX tutorials playlist. I've got a video somewhere in that playlist which talks about how to read approach charts, departure charts, ILS approaches and landings and things like that. So I do have a tutorial. If you go to the top right corner, look at FSX tutorial series, there'll be a video in there which talks about how to read the different charts and what the different symbology is on all of those. So let me just have a quick look at METAR for Gatwick. So the winds are now 0807 knots, cab okay, temperature is 17, dew point 14, QNH 1019. So good, so now that we've got that information, what I'm going to do is go away, Trey, go away. I don't mean this tray go away. There we go. Right, so what we're going to do is go to progress, no performance, and we're going to go through the different phases until we find the approach page up here. So QNH at Gatwick at the moment is 1019. Enter that in. Temperature that we just got was 17 degrees. Winds were 080 at 7 knots. So enter those in. Transition level 6000. That's correct. Now the barometric minimums. Let's have a look here. So we're going to be looking at the final approach here for the minimums. So the category 2 ILS. So the ILS categories start off at category 1, which is the least accurate. Then you've got category 2, which is a bit more accurate, and then category 3, which is sort of the best. Just for safety's sake, we're going to go for category 2, just to be absolutely safe. So the bold number here, the decision altitude or decision height, is 296 feet, or 100 feet radio altitude. So 296 feet above sea level, or 100 feet above ground level. So we're going to go for the 296 above sea level, like so. So basically that will tell the computer to call out minimums, and basically at that height we'll decide if we can see the runway, we'll continue with the landing. If we can't see the runway, we perform a go around and we'll come around and try again. And can my co-pilot please stop sneezing? Please, you've been doing this since the start of the live stream. Olivier, do you know a website for obtaining the QNH means your active runway of any import? You can get the METAR reports. It doesn't necessarily tell you the active runway, because you need an ATIS report for that, but the METAR, let's see, yeah, if you just do a Google search for the aircraft's ICAO code and with the word METAR, then you should be able to find the information pretty easily. So for example, for Gatwick, the 4-letter identifying code is EGKK. So if you just type in EGKK METAR, you should be, there'll be a whole host of websites which will show off that website there, or show off the METAR. That's what I'm trying to say. So yeah, let's see. Co-pilot sneezes Morse code for 7,500. Do for hijack. 7,500 hijack? Yeah, I think you're right. Let's see, Olivier, the METAR can give you the wind direction. Yes, that's correct. So you can see here we're starting to get a bit closer to the top of the descent. So what I'm going to do is if you take a look at Navigraph again, so the altitude that we're going to intercept the glide slope at is 3,000 feet. So what I'm going to do is set the altitude to 3,000 feet, and then I'm going to push the altitude control in. And what that's going to do is that's going to tell the plane to begin a gentle descent, and then once we kind of as I said, once we kind of intercept a slightly better descent angle, then the aircraft will descend a lot quicker. Let's see, Russell, can you get the live weather on P3D? I've got a third-party weather add-on which is giving me the weather. So I have a program called Active Sky Next for P3D, and that's going to give me the that's kind of injecting real-world weather into the simulator right now. So that's why I can kind of rely on real-world Meteor reports, because the real-world weather currently is being kind of sent into the sim by a third-party piece of software. Yeah, we know what approach we're doing. Actually, I haven't dialed it into the flight computer yet, I don't think. So 08 right arrival will be ILS 08 right. We're going to be approaching the what are we going to be approaching here? So it's going to be Mayfield. It's not going to be by Willow. Well, strangely we don't have an option to select May. Definitely the time before B arrival. Okay, we'll go via Willow then. Stop it. So take a look at the plan here, make sure this makes sense. Timber, Willow, yeah, that's fine. So we've got a slight disconnect there, that's not a problem. What we'll do is we'll just hit the clear button, click the line to remove it. That clears it out nicely. So yeah, so we've got a top of descent here, that's all good. So almost there, top of the descent. So we'll start rolling it down. 3,000, push it in. And you see we start going into a descent there. And I think we just hit the top of the descent anyway. So you see this little green dot there. That's sort of the ideal path. So we're slightly above where we should be at the moment. But the plane will be able to recover that quite easily. Alright, so we are now on our way into Gatwick. Drink again. The sound effects are awesome. Yeah, I think they've done better with this latest Airbus version. Yeah, not really much to do there. Let's see, descent, so we can do the descent checklist. I think we need to get this done by about 10,000 feet, so we'll start rattling through that just now. So all of the CDU pre-flight's been done. Seatbelt signs were set to auto, which they are. Anti-ice is off. Barrel reference is set to standard, which it is. FCU altitude is set to 3,000. We've got the orange dot. So yeah, the next actions will be at 10,000 feet. Let's see, Mathis, will I do another flight after this one, or are we going to end the stream? I'm going to be ending the stream after this one. I've got work tomorrow, so I need to be getting to bed at a half decent hour. Tom, welcome. I know it's late, but what? Well, I guess you've been auto brake yet. What auto brake setting are you planning on using? I'm going to use low. There's plenty of runway to use at Gatwick, so I'm just going to use the low auto brake setting. Just let the thing, excuse me, decelerate nice and gently. I'm not flying online or using any ATC service, so I don't need to worry about holding anyone up or anything. So we're quite lucky at the moment, so we've got pretty much a bang on headwind here, so that's going to help us descend kind of along our path. It's going to help us manage our ground speed as well quite easily. So I'm actually going to cuddle my iceberg here. Try and encourage it to melt a bit more. yeah, it's nothing really that I can think of saying at the moment. Let me just check something over here. Let's see, bots, welcome. Anyone know what mod gives you real weather with decent cloud graphics? I think there's one called Rex, or there's a company called Rex which do sort of clouds, new cloud textures, and I believe they also have a weather component to their sim as well. Let's see, Russell, sterile cockpit, yeah. I just can't think of anything interesting to say right now. Does anyone have any questions about flight simming or the Airbus? Anything that I can kind of latch onto and talk about for a little bit during the sim? Melt. I need your water. Melt. Sorry. Anyway, just reading back through the chat there. Let's have a look here. Fady, what's the difference between transition and stars? Okay, so star is basically the route that you take towards an airport. So right now we're flying along a star. So it's kind of like the descent route that we take to get to an airport. The transition is how we get from the... Now the thing with the star is that it doesn't lead all the way to the end of the runway. A star will get you about 80% of the way from your cruise down towards the runway, and then the transition is how you get from the runway, or how you get from the end of the star to the final approach for the runway. So the basic kind of progression for the flight is you fly the star to descend and get close to the airport, you fly the transition to get to whichever end of the runway that you need to be at, and then you have the final approach to conduct the final approach and land on the runway there. So that's basically the difference between a star and a transition. Now let's see, Tom, don't forget to set the minimums for Cat C, auto brake low. Yeah, I'll do, the minimums are already set in. We did that on the CDU a few minutes ago, and the auto brake will do a bit closer to landing there. Let's see, Daniel, it's strange that the engines are not in idle during descent as you would expect. Yep, the reason for that is because we've got a headwind at the moment which is slowing down our ground speed, so the aircraft is having to keep the engines going a little bit just to kind of keep our ground speed up, and just to manage the rate of descent a little bit as well there. Let's see. Time War. With this level of automation, are we looking at a couple of years before AI takes over pilots? Or a couple of decades? I don't know. I think a couple of decades. Because I know that technology is being developed to completely automate a flight. But I think the thing is, it's going to be the human factor. I don't think people are going to be comfortable flying on a plane without pilots. I mean, the thing is, planes practically fly themselves anyway at the moment. I just don't think that passengers will be comfortable flying on a plane without experienced pilots at the helm to just manage everything and make sure it's all okay there. Tom Baldock, what's the difference between transition level and transition altitude? So I believe that transition altitude is a certain height above the ground where once you pass from like underneath and go above that altitude, then once you're above that altitude, you're then working on the standard pressure setting of 1013.2, whereas the transition level is above the transition altitude, usually about 1,000 feet, and it's kind of more aimed at aircraft which are using the standard pressure setting and they're kind of descending down through the sort of the transition level to an altitude. So the thing in aviation is that an altitude and a level are two completely separate things. So when you're flying using the local pressure setting of an airport or an area, you fly on the local QNH, which is your height or your pressure relative to mean sea level. And when you're flying at a certain altitude, it is referred to as your altitude. Now, once you're flying a bit higher and you fly on the standard pressure setting, you are flying at a flight level, not an altitude. So, I could say that we were cruising at an altitude of 36,000 feet, which is technically not correct for this flight. We were flying at a flight level of 360 feet. So it's a very like pernickety thing, very specific terms used in aviation, and that's related to and basically, as you can guess, the transition level, transition altitude, there's kind of like a layer of height where the local pressure difference is different to the standard pressure setting, and that kind of difference is absorbed in usually about a 1,000 foot kind of band, which is the transition something. It's not transition altitude, it's not transition level, it's like a transition layer, I think they actually call it, a transition layer. So you've got the transition level at the top, the transition layer in the middle, and then the transition altitude is kind of like the bottom border of the transition layer, if that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. Let's see. Snay, gotta love 3.4 earthquake at 2 o'clock. Well, you had another earthquake. Mate, you seriously, you need to stop going to Lordos or something. You need to just stop causing these earthquakes, mate. Honestly. Calm down. Let's see, Storm, wouldn't feel safe on a fully automated plane. Yeah, that's the thing. I think it's going to be a while for technology to evolve. if you read a book about air law, you'll find out all about that sort of stuff. Right, okay, so the plane's asking for a bit more drag now, although we do have a headwind here. So basically we're way above where we should be at the moment. We should be down at flight level 070 in 18 miles for this Timber waypoint, and we were getting a little message up here saying more drag is required. So basically if you deploy the spoilers, that will increase the rate of descent. Now I'm not too concerned about that because we do have a headwind, and I'm pretty sure that we're going to be okay, but we can check to see how far. So of course we are. If you have a look at the progress page here, it's this vertical deviation number. So this is telling us that we're about 850 feet too high, and that number is only increasing. So what I will actually do is I will put the spoilers out there. So basically the spoilers are going to come up on the wings. We're going to get lots of warnings telling us that the spoilers are out, which is okay. And now that vertical deviation is decreasing, meaning that we're starting to kind of... So basically we've got our ideal descent path here, and we're currently just a bit too high. So as that vertical deviation decreases, that means that we're starting to kind of get back onto that kind of path that we want to be on. So yeah, so we'll keep the spoilers out for now until we get back onto it, and we know that we'll be back onto it because this number will be close to 0, and we'll also have a little green dot on the left side of the altitude tape here, which also tells us that we're pretty much where we need to be. Just dial down the range as well, so we should be down at flight level 070. We're a little bit off. No, actually, no, we're catching that back up. Oh, it should be doing that. Oh, this is the one. Let's have a look. Alchemist, welcome. Greetings, Doof. Love the flight school video. Fantastic. Thank you. I'm glad. Thank you for watching. Glad you liked it. Let's see. Mathis, what means SHRA in the METAR? That would be showers of rain. SHRA is showers of rain. Abo, still using FSX? Nope, this is P3D. Rafael, do you know why the transition altitude is much lower in Europe than in the US? No, I think it's just a difference in the aviation authorities doing things differently. Snay, 14 kilograms down, and you think you caused a 3.7 earthquake. Well, yeah, it's that 14 kilograms down the toilet, mate. That's what's caused the earthquake. Right, so we're just about on our descent path now, so get that away. We've got the green dot. Green dot is back in there. Tom, I don't think Aerosoft's FMC is quite there in regards to planning an idle descent as a way to input forecasts to assist it. Yes, that's correct, yeah. Tom, lever of shame. Nah, it'll be fine. Nah, it's fine. Bushy, how to get the aircraft to descend automatically? Auto throttle sets, auto heading through the flight computer. Okay, so what you need to do before the top of descent, what you need to do is you need to set a lower altitude over here, and then press the control in again. Or yeah, what you need to do is set a lower altitude, because basically what that does is that then gives the flight computers permission to descend down to that altitude. So if you don't update the altitude towards the end of the cruise, then the plane won't descend. So what I typically tend to do is just enter whatever altitude air traffic controller cleared you to, or what I've done here is enter the altitude I'm going to be intercepting the ILS at, and then yeah, just leave that there, and then the flight computers then go, oh okay, I can't descend to this altitude, and then it'll start descending automatically there. Daniel, don't forget the 10,000 checklist. Yeah, just got it. All it is just putting the seatbelt signs on and putting the landing system on. Transition altitude, we're setting the barrel ref now. You can see that we've got the standard is flashing there, so it's 1019. Let's see, Alchemist just gone to Toronto, 8-hour flight from Gatwick, been up since 4 AM. Gonna have to catch a flight in Gatwick first. Ooh, youch. Aviation Channel, welcome. What do I think of the new British Airways A350s with new business class? I've not had a close look at them yet. I saw a bit of media with the A350 arriving at Heathrow, but I haven't had a look at sort of the interior of it or anything, so I don't know too much about it. Right, now that we're in range of the airport here, I'll dial the range down to 10. So coming up, there'll be a few different steps to do with the arrival. So things are going to happen in fairly quick succession. The plan is, once I'm established on the approach, will be to disable the autopilot and fly in manually for the last maybe 1,000 feet or so. Just depends how quickly I can get the aircraft configured and sort of stable on the approach whilst the autopilot is enabled. I have one last little sip of my ice water. What's the flight time so far? 1 hour 19 minutes. Pretty much bang on, I think. Just about be there. Rafael, should I have turned on the landing lights after passing 10,000 feet? I think it depends on the airline and their operating procedures. The Aerosoft documentation, which I developed my kind of procedure guide through, I think that suggests turning on the landing lights once you hit final approach. But I think it's an airline specific thing, whether to turn on the landing lights at 10,000 feet or whether to leave it until you're on final approach. I think it's really dependent on the airline and how they've written up their flight procedures. Bushy, is the Airbus the same as the old 737 we need to put in the ILS radio to nav2 and activate it in order to land correctly? No, not this add-on Aerosoft Airbus. What it will do is it will automatically pick up the ILS information through the flight management system, through the computer, so you don't need to manually enter in any ILS information for this add-on. Cool, so we're almost home. Basically we're just going to do a big U-turn to line up on the runway, and we'll take it in and land it. So hopefully you'll be able to see there, we've just got a big U-turn basically. We do have this little glitch in the flight path there, which is quite interesting. But what we'll do is we'll be enabling the localizer hold, so the aircraft will try and aim straight for the localizer, so it's not going to do a sudden kind of fly this little kink in the flight plan there. Let's see, Tom, Isle of Wight to your left. No, it won't be the Isle of Wight. Don't know any islands nearby. No, it wouldn't have been the Isle of Wight. Alchemist, just turn on 2 autopilots for ILS landing. Yeah, if you want to perform an auto land, you can use both autopilots. I prefer not to. I always prefer doing a manual landing. What does the D in the circle mean? Looks like deceleration. Yep, that's correct. That's the deceleration point. So just as we're about halfway through this turn, the aircraft's going to slow down to about 190 knots, just where this little green dot is here on the speed tape. And as the aircraft slows down, we'll start throwing the flaps out, just to help us slow down further. And when you select the flaps position, it will automatically adjust the speed down and down and down, so you don't need to worry about doing that. And another one for you, Bushy, you can see there, we're descending, the throttles are at pretty much at idle, but we're still in the climb detents. I literally haven't touched them the entire flight. So there you can see the plane starting to slow down now. So I'm not touching the throttle at all, and you can see that the throttles are automatically changing there. The throttles are not moving at all. So we're now down at just over 190 knots. What I will do is hit localizer there. So the plane's going to now go and track the localizer there. Aldrich, welcome, how's it going? So we're still a good maybe 10 miles away from the airport, so I'm not going to try and slow down yet. At the moment we're flying level at about 3,000 feet, so once I see the glide slope come into play here, that's when I'll start throwing the flaps out. So at the moment, there we go, so it's just become active. So once we get a bit closer, actually, now I'll throw the flaps, first stage of flaps out now. So you can see that the stall speed is decreasing, airspeed is also decreasing as well. What I'll do is I will enable approach here. So as we hit the glide slope, the plane will start descending. Once we hit the S speed here, actually I'll wait until we start actually descending to throw the flaps 2 out. Once we start descending on the glide slope, I'm going to throw the second stage of flaps out. Also going to throw the landing gear out as well. Just creates a bit more drag, helps the plane slow down as we begin descending. And we'll see when we get the glide slope, because this will change here. This will highlight any second now. Glide slope here. So glide slope, so second stage of flaps, landing gear. Can you please stop sneezing? So landing gear is out. So now we can throw out all the landing lights and stuff. Seatbelt signs are on. Auto brake will go
2,500.
Spoilers we will arm. And then we'll go... I'll throw out the flaps a bit later on, actually. We're still 7 miles from the runway just now, so I'll throw out the flaps within about 4 miles, I would say. Bushy, this is why you subscribe, so helpful, best suited to you. Oh, thank you very much, Bushy. Daniel, I think in the 737 deceleration V app, we now have the long speed. Yeah, the 737 is a bit tricky. There's different modes which can confuse you a bit. So normally I would get everything set up quite early for the approach, but I would recommend when you're trying to do an approach in a jet like this, try and get everything done as early as possible so you're not chasing the plane. I'm not saying this to brag, but because I've got a bit more experience, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait until we're about 4 miles away from the airport before I throw out the next couple of stages of flaps. Just get the aircraft all the way down to its actual approach speed. It's a little trick that pilots use in real life to keep the speed up during the approach, and to reduce kind of fuel consumption as well, because there's less drag caused by the flaps, the less angle they are deployed. So that's just about 4 miles there. So we'll go stage 3, Stage 4, we can throw them both out at pretty much the exact same time. You can see the plane is pitching as it's adjusting. So landing checklist. Landing lights are all on. Landing gear is down, we've got 3 green lights. Auto brake is armed, it's set to low. Spoilers are armed, the lever's been pulled up. And we'll go autopilot off. So now the plane's still got the auto throttle on, so the throttles are still in the climb detent there. So the only time I'm going to touch them is when the autopilot calls retard, which in the Airbus, obviously everyone jokes about it, but basically means reduce the throttles to idle, slow the plane down. So once we get the retard call, I'll do that. So basically I'm looking at both the localizer and the glide slope indications there, just to keep ourselves on track. And typically I begin to decelerate, or I pull the throttles back at about 30 feet, and the 30 feet call 400, and then I slowly start raising the nose for the approach, or for the flare and the touchdown. So I drop it down a tiny bit, so I'm going to lift the nose up. Not worried about the auto throttles. The auto throttles are taking care of my speed, so I'm not going to worry about stalling on the approach.
300. 200.
So I'm looking at the big white markers on the runway. That's what I'm aiming for. Getting ready to
100.
throttles. So looking at big
50.
white markers.
40. 30.
Going to idle.
Retard. 20.
Looking down the far
10.
end of the runway.
5.
Looking down the far end. And we're down. So I'm not just keeping back pressure on the stick as well, so we don't slam the front nose wheel down into the ground. And I'm not even going to bother with the reverse thrust. The plane's decelerating nicely, as we can see here. So we'll hit the brakes at 60 knots. It just disables the auto brakes there, and we've got an exit on the left here. So we're just going to keep tapping the brakes just to keep the speed coming down. Okay, we're just tapping the brakes again just to keep the speed coming down. So for taxi, if you're going around corners, you want to be about 10 knots or less. When you're exiting a runway which has got a nice kind of off-ramp style taxiway like that, you can come off the runway a bit quicker, but for any sharp turns you want to be at about 10 knots or less. Okay, so now we're going to do the cleanup. So we're going to stop the clock. Landing lights come off. Runway turn-offs come off. Nose wheel, strobe. Nose wheel comes to taxi. Strobes come off. Flaps can come up. Spoilers can go away. Weather radar can go off. Transponder can come off. APU can be started, and I think that's about everything. And I know roughly where I'm going, so I'm going to taxi all the way. So just a tiny bit of thrust just to get us moving again. Let's have a look here. Storm, thank you for live streaming. Oh, thank you very much for coming along, Storm. Always a pleasure having you along. Bushy, you're not on P3D 4.5. Yes, I'm on 4.5 now. Yeah, I did a complete reinstall of P3D the other day. Storm, just perfect. Oh, thank you, Storm. That felt like a pretty good landing, actually. I wish I had like a landing rate counter. See how well that was. I think it did start the APU. Yep, you're right. Because what I did is I switched on the APU master switch, but you have to leave it a few seconds for the APU intake flap to open up. So I was just leaving that there. Well spotted though. So we're just going to do a little chicane here. Okay, so the APU is definitely running, so that's good. I see clock, those lights, splash transponder, weather radar, landing system, brake temps. Yeah, brake temps are nice and below 100, so that's all good. So we're just taxiing along at a nice steady 9 knots. You know, because we're British Airways, we're nice and classy. We're not rushing anywhere, we're just taking it nice and easy. Timor, is this default Gatwick CME? No, this is a demo version of Gatwick by UK 2000. They make a lot of UK add-on airports. So yeah, so that's gate 18 there. So the full scenery will have jetways and you know, proper like taxiway, kind of parking spots and all sorts. So just tap the brakes, bring the speed all the way down as we're coming into the stand here. I think I'm a bit too far over to the right. In the full scenery pack, they actually have stand or parking guidance systems as well. So just bring the speed all the way down. Cool. I think I should do it there. Okay, so parking brake is on. Engine master switches 1 and 2 come off. Let's see, beacon light can come off, taxi light comes off. Seatbelt signs, PED can come off. Taxi lights off, fuel pumps can all come off. What we'll do is we'll connect the ground equipment. So traffic cones, wheel chocks, external power. We'll switch on the external power. That means we can switch off the APU. And finally we will press Ctrl J to connect the jetway. Open up all the doors. That's going to connect. That's it. Jobs are good. Oh, that's. I think that's a bit ambitious. That jetway. Oh no, that's connected nicely. There you go. So that's it. That's us down in one piece. So that was Turin to Gatwick. Whew. Anyway, right. Let me catch up on comments here. Okere, I think that's how you pronounce your name. Awesome aircraft. Yes, I enjoy flying the Aerosoft Airbus a lot. Mathis, nice stream, a very nice landing. See you soon, dear. Thank you very much, Mathis. Thank you very much for coming along. Excuse me. Rafael, what about the runway turn-off lights? When should they be turned on or off during taxi? I think they're only turned on and off as you're entering or leaving a runway. I don't think you use them during taxi all that much. Risk gas, just missed the entire thing, didn't I? Yeah, sorry, risk gas. I think you did. Bushy, UK 2000, another company you spent a small fortune on near enough all of their airports. Yeah. I'm not big into airport scenery. I'm more into to sort of buying aircraft. Let's see, Daniel, thank you very much for this couple of hours. No problem at all. And Time War, relaxing stream. Storm, thank you. Sleep well, have a brilliant weekend. You too, Storm. Thank you very much for coming along. As I always end every live stream, I'm not just going to run off straight away. So if anyone's got any sort of last comments or questions they want to ask, or any comments they want to make, please do so. I'll be around for like another 5-10 minutes, depending on how busy things are. But if no one else has any kind of comments or anything, then we'll end the stream. Before you go, could you please say a big thank you to UMP Snay and TIP for modding the chat and keeping an eye on everyone, looking after everyone in the chat there. They take a lot of strain off me by answering a lot of the common questions like, what simulator is this? Where are you flying to? Where are you flying from? What joystick do you use? So they keep the chat taken over quite nicely. So give our UMP Snay and TIP a big thank you before you leave, please, because they're helping me out a lot when they don't really have to. So Snay's it's about 2:30 in the morning for Snay, so he's staying up really late to help me out here. And TIP, it was first thing in the morning for him as well. So give those guys a big thank you before you head off. I really appreciate that. Paolo, thanks for the flight different. No problem at all, Paolo. Thank you very much for your donation. That was incredibly kind of you again. And hopefully we'll see you on a future live stream. Bushy, Orbex, PMDG, Aerosoft, the list goes on. Yeah, it can be a bit of a money sink, this hobby. Let's see, Rafael butted the landing in the touchdown zone. Congrats. Thank you very much for your help on this as well. Thank you for the kind comments, and yep, I'm here anytime for answering comments and questions. Akshay, just been watching the Aerosoft Airbus series. Great things, thank you. No problem at all, actually. Thank you very much for watching those. Cool. So yeah, so as I said, if anyone's got any last comments or questions, please do ask away. If not, then we will wrap up the stream sooner rather than later. Yeah, because I've got to go to bed now. Ah, the horror. Yeah, off to bed. Up early tomorrow. Will I go to the gym tomorrow morning? Nah, I won't go to the gym tomorrow morning. I'm going to the gym. But I've been keeping up with the gym quite a lot recently, so I'll give myself a break tomorrow morning. Maybe I'll even have a lion. The horror. It's amazing how like silly little things like a lion become such a big deal when you get older. Where's my water? Please be melting. Ugh, I'll do. FlyX, welcome, how's it going? Sorry buddy, but you've just caught us at the end of the stream here. I'm literally just waiting to see if anyone's got any last questions. But yeah, we're just about to wrap up, I'm afraid. Yeah, so just to kind of debrief the live stream, yeah, so we flew from from Turin to Gatwick on Speedbird or BA2579. Let's have a look at the what time was that in the end? 1 hour 31 minutes. I think that was almost exactly what the flight time should have been. So that worked out quite well. Let's see. Snay, what's the meaning of life? 42. Also, are Monty Python better than the 9 o'clock geese? Oh, absolutely Monty Python are better than that. Monty Python are just legendary. Monty Python are the best. Hot Knife Gaming, welcome, how's it going? Thanks, busy day, no worries. And Isaac, welcome, how's it going? Yeah, so as I said, unfortunately we are wrapping up, so if anyone's got any last questions, please do ask. If not, you've got, let's say 30 seconds. You got 30 seconds to ask any last questions. If not, then we'll wrap up. Gonna sleep well tonight, I think. Knackered. Stay elsewhere. Good stuff. Flights, how was the Aerosoft today? Yeah, it ran really well, nice and smooth. No significant frame rate issues or anything, so no, very smooth flight, everything ran on time. So yeah, very good. Okay, and on that note, I think we're gonna end. Damn, first officer's been sneezing all bloody night. Anyway, right. Yeah. Okay, I'm not seeing many more questions, so I think we'll wrap it up there. So, that was this flight. Massive thank you to both Snay and Paolo for your donations, and Russell as well. Sorry, Russell also donated during the live stream. Thank you to you guys. It means a lot to me. Thank you, and just to everyone who watches my videos in general and was watching this live stream. I'm glad that I still have an audience, even though I've really kind of slowed down my my stuff on my YouTube channel. So yeah, if anyone wants some advice on how to fly this plane, if you click up in the top right corner, I've got a few video series. So I've got if you want to learn about how to fly in flight sim in general, I've got my F6 tutorial series, which takes you through a lot of the basics of flying, flight simulation, and just general aviation knowledge. So all of that can be found in the F6 tutorial series playlist. I've got the Aerosoft Airbus series, which teaches you how to fly this plane, gives you a few ideas about procedures and the guides and basically what order to hit what switches. I've also done a similar series for the PMDG737, so you can find that up there. And I've also begun studying and training for my PPL as well, so if you want to see a few different style videos of vlogs of me going through real world training for a PPL, they're also up there in the sort of the vlog series playlist as well. Anyway, that's it. That's the stream. So once more, thank you everyone for watching. So I don't know when my next live stream is going to be. I don't know when my next video is going to be, but it shouldn't be too long before something new pops up on the channel. Anyway, until then, thank you all very much for watching. Take care out there, and I will catch you all later.